we've seen it now since we talked about it the other day on Tuesday when we were last together. It's blown up, obviously, and then now you have this pushback from people saying, oh, it's not that big of a deal. Sauce Gardner, the most recent, tweeting about it last night. It's not that big of a deal. You're missing the point. Let's set the record straight. It's not about Aaron Rodgers not being there for minicamp. We understand that in itself is not significant as it pertains to the results of the Jets season on the field. It's the bigger picture. The fact that the Jets organization and almost every player to a man is okay with their quarterback not being there for mandatory minicamp when every other quarterback in the NFL was there. That, to me, BT, is the problem with the Jets.
I got to tell you, I'm stunned how many people are missing this. I think this is pretty basic. I'm with you, Sal. The inability for people to decipher the difference between the small picture stuff and the big picture stuff is frustrating because it's so simple that people should process this better than they are. I don't understand. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, you know, I know Sauce had an interesting tweet, and I like if Sauce, one thing that I'm getting this morning, like, hey, if it doesn't bother Sauce Gardner, why the hell does it bother you? Because it's bigger picture stuff. It's symbolism that transcends Aaron Rodgers literally not being there 2-3 days. Sal, I'm totally with you. Do I think that Aaron Rodgers being out there instead of Tyrod Taylor's going for 2 days or 3 days is going to accelerate their Super Bowl path or, you know, reinforce the foundation of who they're trying to be? Not necessarily. I don't. That's the small picture stuff. That's what people are reacting to. No, I kind of agree. I don't like it, but I kind of agree. But the big picture stuff is the organization really has given us two things to react to since minicamp started. Hassan Reddick, that doesn't feel right. And Rodgers, that wasn't positioned right going back to the way Robert Saleh butchered the press conference. I don't get it. It's like a bunch of sycophants out there who are just, you know, predisposed to swallow anything the Jets give them. It's not a good look. But more importantly, it's bigger issues with the team.
Because the organization has and continues to lack accountability. There is no excuse for Rodgers not to be there. Just like when things go right and everybody's covered up, Saleh, oh, we're on the same page. Oh, no, Aaron can do whatever you want. That shows me that there's nobody in control over there. It's the same thing as last year. Rodgers running his mouth or saying things even though he's not playing. Saleh not having a clue. And it's not just about Aaron Rodgers. It's about other players as well. There is no accountability. So inevitably, when things go wrong, which they do, even with the best of teams, what's going to happen? Who's the guy that you look to? Where's the stability? Where's the foundation? Where is the leader on this team? Where's the accountability? It's not there. I'm going to further this. You know I'm excited about the Jets. I cannot wait to get this football season underway with you specifically, but have fun. You know, we did it last year. It went sideways. I want to see Rodgers stay healthy. I believed in the Jets, and I do believe their talent can bring them success. However, as I'm walking to work today or you know, whatever, driving in, taking the train, then walking over, and I'm thinking about it, they have to earn it. I'm sorry. I can't believe in this organization because it's much more than just the talent that you have. And they continue to do stupid things, and they lack accountability. When something goes wrong, it's going to be the same thing. Oh, not that big of a deal. Oh, this guy will be all right. And it's not. It's not. Their foundation is broken. It's not even cracked. It's broken. There's leaks. There's floods. And there's nobody there to look to get them out of it. That's the problem. Not that Rodgers isn't here. It's a bigger picture issue.
Well, it is. I mean, just think about this. Who's the leader of the Jets? I want to tell me Aaron Rodgers. Well, he's not at minicamp, and he's been here for a year, and he hasn't even thrown a touchdown pass. So yeah, it's just we're at the point now, and Sal knows this. I think many of you know this. I try not to. I'm not always successful with it, but for the most part, I am. I don't lean into the negativity with the Jets. I try to evaluate each season for who they are or what I think they can be or who I think they can be. But, you know, I think that this is the summer that I'm probably going to change my tune. And I don't mean that I just, you know, resort to this overwhelming amount of negativity, but I do think, which I won't do, unless it's negative, then I'll react to it. I think that the prudent play for all of us this year is wait and see.
Right.
Wait and see.
They have to earn it.
Yeah, like let's see how many reps the new offensive line gets together. Let's see if Aaron Rodgers, hopefully, or when he died to skew it positively, when he, gets past the summer physically unscathed. Let's see where we are. But this notion to anoint the Jets divisional champs, 13 wins, not that they can't do that stuff, but to sit here in the middle of June and say that they're going to be that team, they've got the talent to be that team. They have shown no leadership yet to be that team.
Bingo. And I'm with you. I don't get how so many fans can be okay. Just simplify this. Like, we're not making up opinions here. This is factual stuff that has happened. He's not there. Oh, the media sensationalizes and makes up stories. No, he's not there. The only quarterback to not be there is Aaron Rodgers. And again, I love Rodgers, so this is not like a hater that hates Rodgers on everything. I legit love Aaron Rodgers. I want to hang out with him. I think he's unique. I find him fascinating. I love that he's comfortable in his own skin, doesn't care what anybody thinks. So I love all those things about him. Can you clearly tell me that Aaron Rodgers is prioritizing being the quarterback of the New York Jets?
I got to tell you, up until this, I was able to.
Correct.
But this is a big deal. It's minicamp.
But after this, how can you say that he's making it a top priority? Now, does it mean that he can't go out there and perform? No.
Nope.
But it does mean that he values whatever it is more than he does being at mandatory minicamp for the Jets, and I just don't get how that's acceptable.
Well, it shouldn't be, but once the organization accepts it, then it's going to trickle down, and the young players, the young rising leaders are going to accept it, like Sauce and those other guys. See, but here's the issue that I think is, again, that's why I said people are having a rough time differentiating and deciphering between the big picture stuff and the small picture stuff. Again, small picture, he knows the playbook. He can fling it with his eyes shut. He already has synergy with Wilson and those guys because he was with them in camp a year ago. I'm not worried about the football stuff. But, whether it's this year or in 2 years, Aaron Rodgers will be gone. And what happens when, the next star is up for a big deal or has a chance to go overseas or a business endeavor independent of his job with the Jets, and it happens to coincide with minicamp? Does that player, whether it's Garrett, Sauce, Brees, somebody else that we don't know yet, in 5 years, do they feel as if they've got the latitude? Right. Have they been emboldened by Rodgers doing this where they think that they can do it? And that's what I'm talking about. It's a track record. It's the DNA. It's the culture. Yes, I know Aaron Rodgers wants to win. Yes, I believe his teammates trust him and follow him. And yes, I still believe Aaron Rodgers could play. He's supposed to be at minicamp.
BT and Sal on the Fan. 888-808-1019 is the number to call. Our friends at Town Fair Tire remind you that at Town Fair Tire, you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. It's the substitute teacher feel. Mm-hmm. It's a constant. You know the difference. We've all been in class at some point in our lives, whatever it may be. The regular teacher's in there. You act a certain way. All of a sudden, you see a sub. It's like, oh, okay. You feel like you get away with a little bit more.
Oh, you start throwing paper airplanes. You leave the classroom. You start fighting. You flip over desks. You do whatever you want.
The Jets' hierarchy is constant substitute teacher. That's the problem that they have, and I don't see their success changing as long as that remains the structure. Jared is in Ridgefield. What's up, Jared?
Hey, BT. Hey, Sal. How we doing?
Good, Jared.
What's happening, buddy?
I'm good. I'm good. It's good to speak to you guys. So I think you're overreacting, and I have a quick and easy point. And the reason why I think you're overreacting, when we signed Aaron Rodgers to the New York Jets, we handed him the key to the city, okay? Now, on top of that, in this very moment, he's running this team. I don't have faith in Robert Saleh. I don't have faith in this offensive staff. I don't have faith in our owner. But I have faith in Aaron Rodgers.
He's not there for you, though. He's not there for you.
It doesn't matter.
Jared, you bring up excellent points. And by the way, yes, it does matter. The one guy that you trust bailed on you for mandatory minicamp.
Sal, he's a 20-year vet. Excuse me if I'm off. He knows how to play the game. I'm more worried about Robert Saleh, who doesn't know how to talk to the media and control the football team.
Well, Jared,
that's what we should be talking about.
Yeah, well, Jared, think about this.
Robert Saleh's a lame duck head coach.
Oh, we all know he's a lame duck, and Joe Douglas is a lame duck general manager, and Robert Saleh, Sal says he's the worst coach in football. He might be. Every time that comes up, I try to find 2 or 3 others just to be fair, and it's never really definitive. I mean, Robert Saleh's on certainly the bottom few 4 or 5, but you know what he's absolutely the worst at? Communicating to the fans. He takes something basic, and he stretches things out, and instead of disarming the media, like this shouldn't even be a story, but the way it was presented a few days ago made it a story, and that's on the coach, much like the backup quarterback situation. Hey, Zach, guess what? You're benched. Oh, this guy got hurt. Oh, Zach, you got to play again. Oh, Zach doesn't want to play again because we reportedly said we were going to trade Zach. Like, the way things trickle out and the way things are adhered to or not adhered to, it's small time.
And then when you see him, like the head coach, the feel of the head coach should be that guy, whether he's a good coach or not, is in control for the time being of the organization.
100%.
That's the head coach's job. You have to be in control of the organization. And Robert Saleh is the exact opposite of in control of the organization. He's getting steamrolled every which way by the players, by the media. He looks like a man who's beaten down. He looks great physically. He could run the stairs very well. Defensively, passionately, yeah, sure, he's got some of those attributes, but he's getting steamrolled as far as being a leader of the organization. And everybody else thinks that we're the problem.
Yeah.
We're criticizing them. No, you're the problem. Not just him, but the whole organization. So to the caller's point, there's many things wrong with the setup. They had to go all in and hand the keys over to a 40-year-old quarterback who hasn't done squat here. Mm-hmm. So you usually have to earn that.
Yeah.
You don't hand the keys to the city until you earn
Well, that's
that.
the thing. There's equity that's earned, overall, and there's equity that's earned in other spots, and he hasn't earned anything here yet. Now, we think he can. You believe in Rodgers.
Right.
He's an all-time talent throwing the football. Everybody knows that. But in terms of what he's actually done for the New York Jets, you can fit inside of a thimble. He's done nothing for the New York Jets.
Then you factor in the head coach. So you're saying, okay, well, yeah, we handed over the keys. Okay, why is that? Because you don't trust the general manager. You don't trust the head coach. You don't have anything else. So that's already bad infrastructure. That's a bad foundation to begin with. And then the one guy that you do hand the keys over to, not only what he's done here could fit in the thimble, as you say, he's on the interviews with McAfee every week saying something that makes news, usually in the negative variety. And forget about even that if you want to just focus on the present, he's not there for mandatory minicamp. I don't care what the excuse is. He's the only quarterback in the NFL to not be there for mandatory minicamp.
Yeah.
And they're acting like it's not a big deal.
And he's also, to my knowledge, the only quarterback in the NFL who, once the season ended, when he addressed the media, said, quote, we need to lose the BS and make this about football and stop all the petty nonsense. And here we are. When you're supposed to be there, you are not. I know I want to get back to this call. We want to get back to the calls. The one thing, though, about Saleh, right, because I do think this is completely intertwined. Belichick wouldn't allow this. Coughlin wouldn't have this. Parcells wouldn't have this. Honestly, I'm not even sure if like Todd Bowles would have had this. This should not be allowed, all right? Nobody knows what he's doing yet. Is he overseas in Greece laying on a beach? Is this a business endeavor? And until we know, it's even more bothersome. I do strongly surmise, if not no, he's not looking. He's not at some. He's not with the doctor. Okay, so to further his rehab. But back to Saleh for a sec. I don't know if I've ever been so disappointed in, forget about the win-loss record and the football execution, of all the coaches, of all the managers, of all the sports, of all the teams that I and we have followed for 30, 40 years, right? Think about this. I don't know if I've ever been more betrayed by what I thought was coming versus what actually has shown up. I thought Robert Saleh was going to be an absolute ass kicker. He's been a sheep.
Yeah, he's getting bullied. Ari is calling from Valley Cottage. What's up, Ari?
Hey, good morning, guys. I just get to listen to you guys on Fridays, but it's always a pleasure. Before I get to my point, you cannot give the keys to for New York City to Aaron Rodgers. You give it to Aaron Judge. You give it to Jalen Brunson. He's been here for 4 snaps. Who's delusional? He hasn't done anything for the city yet.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, and by the way, Joe, you know what it is? Joe, it's desperation,
Ari.
Joe. Pardon me, Ari. It's desperation. When you're so desperate, you bend the rules. You stretch the parameter. We all know he hasn't earned it, but here we are. Go ahead, bud.
Yeah, so I'm surprised Aaron Rodgers did this. I'll say I'm not a Jets fan, but I'm a Giants fan. I'm not a Jet hater, but I think Aaron Rodgers is a smart guy. he has tremendous talent. I'm surprised that he chose to do this, knowing what the repercussions were in coming to be the quarterback for New York. Last year, he did all the right things before he got hurt, and he even did all the right things after he got hurt, trying to be with the team as much as possible, recuperating from his injury. He's under such a big microscope that the media, the New York media, the national media, at any sign of turmoil, when the season starts, if he gets off to a bad start, they're going to be circling back to him missing minicamp. And I'm surprised he would chose to do that to himself, being a smart guy and not looking ahead.
Well, you could be, and Ari, think about this. Thanks for the call, a good call. You could be very smart. You could also be very self-absorbed and egotistical. And I think he's probably saying to himself, well, he's not saying this part, but I'll say it. I do believe he's very intellectual. I think he's a well-read guy.
Right.
Now, if you agree with everything that he says, that's different. But I believe he's a smart person in terms of intellect.
Right.
He's no dummy. I also think he has some street sense in terms of the media because he's been around for 20 years, knows how it operates. You don't think that he, on some level, processed Sal, it's going to blow up a little bit.
Yep.
He didn't care. He
Right.
was selfish.
Right.
Taking it for granted. I do whatever I want. It's my show.
He said whatever it is very important to him. The problem is not just this isolated incident. It's more about the Jets, and it's more about them being okay with him not being here. You shouldn't be okay with your starting quarterback missing mandatory minicamp. It just shows you how pathetic that they are. Why is he the only one? What is he, above everything? The answer is yes.
Yeah.
And the answer and the problem with that is that can't be the case for a successful, well-run organization. You don't think Josh Allen or Tua Tagovailoa or whoever, pick a quarterback, Kirk Cousins, Daniel Jones, you don't think that they may have something to do this week that they would want to do? Which, by the way, it's odd timing anyway because it's the middle of the week in June. What exactly could be that important to you that you have to miss it? But anyway, that's not the point. The point is the Jets are okay with it. That's the problem. No organization should be okay with their star quarterback missing mandatory minicamp. BT and Sal on the Fan. More of your calls on the other side.